So good morning dear friends, and today myself is Dr. Neeta from the Department of English, and today we are going to learn about plot. Plot is considered to be one of the key elements of the novel, plays, fiction or the stories, and it has been the much discussed point whenever we study a story, either in the form of a drama or it is in the form of a novel. Aristotle was the first person who introduced plot, the term plot, and he defined it as the soul of the tragedy. Aristotle has defined 6 elements of tragedy, and he considers plot to be the most important element of tragedy. He has gone to the extent of saying that we can imagine a story without a character, but without plot we can't imagine a story. That is why he calls it the soul of the tragedy. So plot is the most important element whenever we study any story in literature. A German thinker, Frege, first introduced a kind of pyramid to explain the plot. And here I would like to explain this pyramid to you. This pyramid shows that the development of plot has the 5 stages. These 5 stages are exposition, second one is the rising action, third one is the climax, and then fourth one is the falling action, and the last one is the resolution. So first we would begin with the exposition. Exposition is that part of the story when the characters are introduced, a story is set, but as far as the action and emotions are concerned, exposition part of the plot is lacking emotions and the action. From this point, the conflict of the story begins. At the end of the exposition, the conflict of the story begins, and that conflict gradually rises up to the climax. And during that period, that is known as the rising action, a number of incidents are taking place in the plot. And that is why the plot is known as the arrangement of events. How the author has arranged the different incidents and events we understand in plot. Rising action, the conflict grows up, the protagonist of the story comes in contact with the other characters, and that is why we come to know about his character, and we come to know regarding the fact what are the qualities of this protagonist and what are his weaknesses, and ultimately we reach to the climax. Climax word has been taken from the Greek word of the same pronunciation, climax, and in Greek the climax is the highest stair of a ladder. Similarly, this is a kind of escalation. This process is a kind of escalation in which the suspense, the conflict is rising up, and it is the highest point of the suspense in the story. That is why a number of people say that this is the climax of the film, this is the climax of the story. When the suspense is highest, when the question, the biggest question of the story gets solved at the climax. And after that, there are a number of knots during this rising action. People are making the thing difficult. All these knots are untangled during the falling. They get untangled, and ultimately the characters are achieving their balance. The conflict is resolving, and ultimately we are coming to the resolution. This, from climax to resolution, the process is known as the falling action. We do not get the solution at the climax. The solution comes gradually as the conflict is gradually building up, and similarly the conflict is getting solved, and ultimately we come to the end, and that is the resolution. About resolution I would like to tell that resolution part may be according to the will of the audience, or it may be against the will of audience or the reader. But it is definite that the readers or audience would definitely come to know the fact that the story is coming to an end, and it is a kind of summing up. As far as the kind of plots are concerned, Aristotle have has defined two kinds of plot, simple plot and the complex plot, and he prefers complex plot over the simple one. Majority of stories can be understood on this basis, but the modern and postmodern story writers, modern and postmodern story writers have changed this setting. Intentionally they change this setting to create something new, but it is a cardinal fact that any story can be understood on the basis of these 5 elements. Thank you for patience listening. I think this would clear what is an plot.